Welcome. So let's look at how to solve linear algebraic equations. So let me write one algebraic equation, which is x plus 3 equals 0. Now, first of all, why it is called linear? Because the maximum power of x in this equation is 1, which is given here. Okay, so there are many steps that you have to take to solve an algebraic equation, but let's stick to the steps which are relevant to this equation. What we want by the solution of this equation is to have x in this form such that x equals to something something on the right hand side. So on the left hand side you have x, and all the rest of the items have been moved to the right hand side and simplified. So this is what we mean when we say the solution of a linear algebraic equation. Now, I see here that there is only one term, which is 3, that is being added to x. So all I will do is to remove 3 from this side and move it to that side. I will subtract 3 from both sides. Okay. So all I've done is I've subtracted 3 from this side, and in order to make sure that the equation is balanced, I have subtracted 3 on this side as well. So on your left hand side, your 3 will be cancelled, and you will be left with your answer, which is x equals minus 3. Okay, so this is your answer. You have now solved your linear algebraic equation. Let's look at another equation. So let's say you have an equation that you need to solve, and that equation is 2x plus 4 equals to 0. Okay, now in this case you don't have x alone, you have 2 being multiplied. So let me give you the full-blown method of solving linear algebraic equation. So your step 1 is whatever is being added to x, you just do the opposite of that on both hand sides. So right now we have 4 being added. What we will do is we will subtract 4 from both sides. Okay, then we will simplify, so plus and minus 4 will get cancelled. We will have 2x equals minus 4. Okay, then in step 2, what we have to do is whatever is being multiplied or divided with x, you just do the opposite of that on both sides of the equation. So here 2 is being multiplied, so as I said, we will do the opposite of it, which is division. So we will divide both sides by 2. Okay, and now moving on this side, we will get, so this 2 will get cancelled with this one, and this will give 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So your answer is x equals minus 4. Oh, sorry, x equals minus 2. Okay, so that is the solution of your linear equation. Okay, now let's look at the third example. Okay, all right, so let's say you have an equation which is given as 4x minus 3x plus 2 equals 7. Okay, so let's say you have this equation. Now this time, of course, you will have to first make sure that you take the terms which do not have any value of x with them, you move them to the other side. So here in your step 1, what you do is you take the term without x and try to move them on the other side. And by how you do it, if it's being added on this side, you subtract it on both sides, or if it's being subtracted on this side, you add it on both sides. Okay, so let me write it like this. So plus 2, then we will do minus 2 because we are doing it ourselves, equals to 7, and then we will minus 2 on the other side as well. Okay, so these two terms will get cancelled because 2 minus 2 is 0, and you are left with 4x minus 3x equals to 5. Okay, so that is our equation so far. Now in the second step, we would have, like the previous equation, we would have divided both sides by whatever is being multiplied with x. But look at this equation, look at the left hand side. You have 4x minus 3x. So using algebra, we can simplify this. Okay, so in step 2, we will now simplify. You could have done this in the first step as well. So you could have simplified in the first step, but it's totally up to you how you want to do it. So if you take 3x away from 4x, you're left with x equals 5. Okay, and now because the coefficient of x is already 1, you don't have to worry about dividing both sides. So your answer is x equals 5. Okay, so once again, what is the method in step 1? You will do the opposite of what is being added or subtracted to x on the left hand side. So in this case, we had 2 being added. We subtracted 2 on both sides. If it was minus 2, we would have added 2 on both sides. Then we simplified, right? So 2 got cancelled. Then we are left with 5 on the right hand side. Then the next step is to divide or multiply both sides with the coefficient of x. But here we see we have 2 x's, we have 4x and we have 3x, so we see we can actually simplify that, so before dividing that. So once we simplified it, we are left with x equals 5, and our coefficient is already 1, so we don't have to divide it on both sides. Okay, thank you.